Hello guys, welcome back. I don't want to go through the last 3 or 4 days again in my life ever. Um, I should have noticed it and I should have known what was actually going on, but I was in the middle of it. It's like being in the middle of a hurricane, kind of. Obviously I was going through a really deep healing and I didn't even know who was doing it. And I told you I had that unfortunate gift of sometimes I call it seeing behind the scenes, seeing stuff I shouldn't see. And I was seeing stuff I shouldn't see and experiencing stuff I shouldn't experience. So it was a lot worse on me than it should have been. I don't ever want to go through that again. Um, and I kept going back to the Temple of Apollo. After I dragged the poor priest of Hermes into this, I kept going back to the Temple of Apollo, and I'm like, why? And the universe, when you want something, or when you don't want something, or whatever, or when you're denying a truth, will keep pushing you. And basically, I had to have a healing crisis. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And the only thing I can say is I partially had to have the healing crisis. And I don't know if I believe in reincarnation or not, but I'm getting the idea of some kind of disaster and being linked to Apollo. Does that mean I've lived before? I don't know. But maybe it's just I'm so close to him at some points that I can pick up like what the earthquake was when the Temple of Delphi went down. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I've been picking up a lot of stuff that I shouldn't be picking up. It's kind of like I call it when the gods take their human skins off and they're not that nice little package that you can deal with. They're this scary thing. And it's not even the whole god or your little mind would explode. So it's been weird. I've been, I need that tuned way back. Way, way back. So I had a healing crisis, and that was a lot of fun. And the Greek gods have been like doting on me and following me around. And it was never, you have to be with Norse gods or have to be with Greek gods. It's like, these are the gods that chose you. You got some of the Greek and you got some of the Norse and you got a couple from over there. And don't you worry about what anyone else thinks. So I feel a lot better. I feel like I was really sick. Like I was sick all night, and a lot of the night Apollo was working on really intensive healing, and it was just a lot of garbage had to come out of my system. Um, I still feel loogy, like I'm getting over flu or something, but part of that's because this is a time of year that you can't decide. Do I put on my heat? Do I put on my AC? What do I do? So since I do have arthritis, I put my heat on. I have my what is it? Space heater in there going. So yeah, the artificial fireplace, the wow one. So yeah, it was I had to go through a healing and I got the god that I'm closest to, which I thought it was Hermes, which is why my discernment was way off, and Apollo's like, no, it's Apollo. Yay! And I know I probably sound loogy and out of it. I'm sorry, but like as I'm talking to you, I'm having flashbacks of all the stuff I used to do. Like as a little girl, I would build altars on windowsills. And keep in mind, I'd never been exposed to any religion except for Catholicism, and I didn't even know I was building an altar, but I would put like seashells and stuff everywhere, and I kept thinking, I'm getting this connection to the sea with Apollo. I'm really, really screwed up here. And then I'm like, one, where's his temple? Two, what's the story of his birth? Of course he would have a connection to the sea and to, dolphins and everything else. And he's been really, really supportive, and he's been really sweet about it. I probably sunk the channel the last couple days, but I'm gonna leave it up because if you ever want to see what I look like when I'm going through a healing crisis, there you go. I feel a lot better today. And I had some good luck come my way, so it was definitely Hermes taking pity on me. Or Loki. Loki's told me 1,000 times, he's like, if you keep going around and trying to find out who specifically did something, I'll hit you with something. So they're trying to work me out of the having to thank the right god for that. basically, I was having trouble with the Greek gods because I had to kind of go through the labyrinth. Sometimes you have to do that with gods. I did it with Loki. It was like with Loki, it was like going through a thorny forest and getting torn up and everything, and he seemed savage, and he seemed like he hated me, and I'm like, why does this god want me? But then when I found my way through the forest, I found the real Loki. And with the Greek gods, it's the same thing. Once I found my way through this forest of these cheap, petty, awful Greek gods, I found the actual gods. And I guess it's the best they can do for an endurance test for us today, though it's not fun. So I apologize for anything bad I said about the Greek gods, because it was like, oh, once I found the center of the labyrinth and I found what they're really like, I was like, oh, I'm terribly sorry. And Hermes, I drug your priestess into this. This is terribly awkward. And he's like, hmm. And I'm like, apologizing would make stuff worse, wouldn't it? Probably. So I don't know what to do. I don't think apologizing to the priestess would make sense now, because I'm sure I sound like a raving lunatic. But it makes sense that if I'm that close to Apollo and we never got in sync, it makes sense why sometimes I get stuff I shouldn't. But I can't pick you winning lottery tickets, and I can't tell you your future. Please don't think I can. But I just know that I do have this strong connection with Apollo. I remember seeing stuff about his priestesses as a little girl and having vivid nightmares. And I remember being scared of certain gods. So I don't know if I'm having like flashbacks of stuff they remember their cults, and like I said, seeing stuff I should not remember. Or it's an ancestral thing, or I'm seeing a past life, or I'm just getting flashes from the ether. I don't know. But I do know that certain gods were terrifying me because I was remembering something, but then once Apollo helped me see that, it's okay. I can let go of the fear. Whatever happened is in the past. It's done now. It's okay. I don't have to be afraid. It feels like I got to see maybe initiation processes or something with a lot of them. I don't know, but that would explain why I ran. And I think sometimes the gods don't realize you're dealt up that high, that you're getting stuff you should literally not be getting, and it's like you're a radio, a really crappy radio with no dial, but it's randomly going up and down the, the airwaves. So that's what happened, and Apollo loves me and forgave me. I even tried to banish the Greek gods because I wouldn't go away. I tried last night. And Dionysus was just looking at me with his jaw hanging open like, Luckily, the Greek gods are really actually sweet and kind, so they were like, they understood. It was just like I was going crazy because I had something up in my head. I know what that sounds like. And I couldn't get rid of it, and I was trying to shake it off. And the more I was resisting, the more insistent Apollo became, until finally it was like I just collapsed in my chair and music started to play. No, actual music on YouTube. I wasn't going crazy. And the songs that played, it was like him giving me messages, and he finally got me to calm down. So, that's what happened with that. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it being Apollo, because I guess sometimes it happens in Voodoo too. The god you're meant to be with, the god that's in Voodoo, actually, like your head or the one that takes care of you, and they can stack on top of each other too. You can hate that god, or Loa, depending on how you view them. And you can absolutely despise them. And you can despise everything they stand for, every symbol they have. It's kind of like a protective device, because it's believed in Voodoo that if people knew who your spirit was, and this is just a belief, they could go pay them to look the other way while they hurt you. Now, that's not how it actually works, but a lot of people have that belief. And they also believe that, well, if they do know who your head is or your spirit is, they could go to an opposing one that doesn't like them and say, hey, I hate this person, they're a child of whomever, go get them. And I think with Apollo, I kind of had to be protected, because I think if I would have actually went right away into Greek mysteries instead of Norse mysteries or finding my way back around to the Greek gods, it would have been a disaster because I would have been going into stuff wide open. And if you're wide open, you don't want to approach certain groups of gods. And Norse gods seem to understand. I think it's why they're comforting and dampering. But with the Greek gods, that's why I've been having like so many crazies, because I've been like wide open on their channel and it's like everything's coming through at once. So Apollo's calming me down and we're working on fixing the radio, fixing the receiver so that I get one channel at a time. It's not so freaking loud that I jump out of my skin. And that's actually something he's happy I have. It's good to have that kind of discernment. It just shouldn't be up as loud as it is, or I'm going to go tone deaf and go more than a little crazy. So we're working on that, and you know, I've had good fortune lately, so that's good. And yeah, that's where we are right now. I know I don't seem really jump up and down excited, but I'm super tired, guys, because yesterday was super intense, and then this morning it felt like nothing had changed. I expected to wake up to a beautiful new day, and I woke up and my first thought was I'd rather be a cat instead of a human. Go figure. So yeah, I had to reconnect with him, and as soon as I saluted him and we start working together, it's something that has to be worked out, but it'll work, I think. I probably didn't make any sense at all. I apologize, but I'm feeling really loogy and looped. And I've had plenty of coffee today. I had like a whole cup. I'm still tired. Okay, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.